Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. It is so lovely to have you back, and I hope you are enjoying the content I'm putting out on the channel, and I am hoping it is helping you out. If you like filmmaking content, Davinci Resolve tutorials and stuff like that, please consider subscribing. So in today's video, we are going to have a look at an old friend of mine, the lens. The Helios 44 58mm lens, and it is a pretty amazing lens, and I'll tell you why. When you're watching videos, most people are using the same new lenses. A lot of people are using the Sigma, 18 to 35, or different kind of things that everybody are using. So that means that everybody's footage are beginning to look more and more like the same. So to make your footage look a little bit different, you could start using vintage lenses. I'm shooting all of my YouTube videos, the intros, on a vintage lens right here. But today's lens, we will be talking about the Helios here. And this is a Russian lens. It has a lens mount of M42. But luckily, with the power of adapters, we can adapt this to different options. For instance, you can adapt this to a EF lens, and then you can do it right here actually. You just adapt it to an EF lens, because it's just a ring, and you just attach that and you screw this in here. And now you can put this on your Ursa, or you can put it on your pocket camera. I'm using a Veltrox speed booster for that, and that is actually pretty handy because you will have a pretty large field of view. Because this is a 58mm lens, and with the crop factor and all, it's a little bit different. But it is a very good lens. Also, you can adapt it to MFT, micro four thirds, with this piece of metal. There's a million of those on eBay, and they can go from expensive to very cheap. This is very cheap, and this is good enough because it's only need to be attached to the lens and into the camera. And that is very good if you're using the pocket cinema camera 4K. And of course, you could also use the Veltrox, as I talked about before. But the benefit of having both versions is, of course, if you're using the MFT adapter with no glass, it will be quite more zoomed in, and if you're using the Veltrox, it'll be a little bit more wide. So in fact, you'll have two lenses in one. So in my opinion, this is a great lens, and it's super affordable. It is like $40 to $60 on eBay, and if you have the opportunity to get one, just get it. You won't regret it. It is a great lens. It has a funny bokeh. It's really is good. And by the way, the benefit of adapting this to the EF and then putting it on something like a Veltrox is you'll have a extra stop of light, so you can actually shoot with this in pretty low light conditions. And it is great. It has also some funny and interesting flares because of the coating of it. This is a pretty old lens. I've had it for 10 years. I used it on a lot of different projects. And I do believe these were produced from the 60s and up till some point at the 80s. And they are produced in millions. And it is maybe one of the most easy Russian lenses to get your hands in if you are into shooting pretty funny and interesting shots. So I did a lot of tests with this lens, trying out different setups. Mainly I didn't shoot anything handheld this time. I usually do that, but I didn't do this in my test this time. On the test this time, I used a Canova slider and a tabletop dolly for most of the shots, just to make something kind of fluent and fun. So that is the main thing of this video. So I'll show you the test footage, and I'll talk about some of the stuff along the way, and yes, we'll round up the video afterwards. Okay, so Here we are at a forest shot, and just to show some of the flares from natural light. A little note on this is that there is a little bit of color grade applied on the shot. It is not very much, it's just basic. Yeah, so all these shots are shot on the Canova slider, an old classic and very cheap slider, by the way, but it's not a motorized slider, at least not the one I have. And you can just take a look at the shots and see how the blurriness and the bokeh of the shots actually are. So if we go to this shot here, I'm just going to change the focus so you can see the bokeh of the natural lights and the shape of the bokeh they actually have here. So here we have a different shot, just an inside shot at an office. Again, all these shots are shot on a tabletop dolly. And there's no light added, it's just natural light, all shot on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K at ISO 400. Again, all the shots have a little bit of grade applied, and all these shots are again shot on a tabletop dolly on a table I moved around when I did the shots. And then for this test, I wanted just to test out how the slow motion would work. So this is again shot on the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K at 60 frames a second in their 4K mode. So for the next shots, it's more like creative lighting. For these shots, it's all about the bokeh in the back, which is just a LED strip. And here I am just testing out light flares in the lens just with my cell phone and the flashlight in my cell phone, which looks pretty nice. And here for the last shot, it's just an LED lamp, and it has some pretty nasty flares, but we could have helped that with a matte box or something to block that out a bit. So that was a look at the Helios 44 on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you got curious in getting a copy of this beautiful lens yourself. And please do that. And if you do get one, or you have any questions about the Helios or my setup in general or filmmaking or anything, you can write it down in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer you back. Until next time, see you.